Okay, so now let's study about the nitrogen cycle. Nitrogen cycle is very important because that is the last part, and when you go to the last part of the school time, sometimes you will leave without studying this. So initially, I'm going to explain about this nitrogen cycle. So people say the nitrogen cycle, the main source of nitrogen is the atmosphere. That means the 78 percentage of the atmosphere is the nitrogen. How much percentage? 78 percentage. So remember that 78 percentage in the atmosphere was nitrogen, and so the main source of nitrogen where you can get the nitrogen, you mainly can get from the atmosphere. So that is the thing they are telling about. Okay, so now here see, this is the atmosphere, right? In the atmosphere we have the nitrogen, atmospheric nitrogen. Okay, so how this atmospheric nitrogen is gained by these plants, and how the atmospheric nitrogen is gained by these animals, how the atmospheric nitrogen is again released to the atmosphere. So that is the thing today we are going to see. Okay, so here see, atmospheric nitrogen. Okay, so atmospheric nitrogen is used for the industrial, and then atmospheric nitrogen should be fixed to the soil. Why they need to fix the atmospheric nitrogen to the soil? There's a reason. Okay, so if you really see the atmospheric nitrogen in the soil, we have the atmospheric nitrogen, right? In the soil we have the, here let's say this is the atmosphere. In the atmosphere we have the atmospheric nitrogen. Okay, now there is a plant. Assume there is a plant over here. Okay, there is a plant over here, and that plant should have a nitrogen, but this plant can't get the nitrogen directly. Okay, so this plant can't get the nitrogen directly from the atmosphere. So there are a lot of microorganisms present inside the soil. Okay, so those microorganisms is going to help to take the nitrogen to the plant. Okay, so that is the thing that happening here. Okay, so that is the thing that is happening here. Okay, so let's read first. The fixation of atmospheric nitrogen takes place in the three main methods. So the fixation of atmospheric nitrogen takes place in the three main methods. First one, biological fixation. Okay, so what we are doing is we are converting molecular nitrogen. Molecular nitrogen means the nitrogen which is present in the atmosphere to bioavailable nitrogen. We are converting the molecular nitrogen to bioavailable nitrogen. That means bioavailable nitrogen means the nitrogen that could be taken by the animals, the nitrogen that could be taken by the plants. Okay, so we are converting the molecular nitrogen to bioavailable nitrogen. So that is the thing that we are doing. Okay, so remember that. So first of all, what we are going to study about the biological fixation. So the first main method of nitrogen fixation is biological fixation. Free living bacteria in soil is Azotobacter, and symbiotic bacteria like Rhizobium live inside root nodules of leguminous plants that can convert atmospheric nitrogen into NH4 plus. Okay, so in the mimosa plant, mimosa or mimosa plant, there will be root nodules like this. There will be like root nodules like this. So that root nodules, so I'll show the picture of the root nodules first. Wait. So root nodules, right? mm, Here see, these are the root nodules that present in the like mimosa plant like things. Okay, so inside the root nodules what present? The Rhizobium bacteria present. Okay, so freely Azotobacter species is living, and in the root nodules what present? Rhizobium present. Okay, so you should remember that. Okay, and then this Azotobacter is slantedly written, so that is a scientific name. That is a scientific name. So how can you write in the exam paper? You should write and you should underline that word. Don't forget that. Okay, so the Acinetobacter species is free living bacteria which is living inside the soil. Rhizobium bacteria is living inside the root nodules. Ultimately, they are converting the nitrogen to ammonium ion. Ammonium ion in sense NH4 plus. How this ammonium ion is produced, there is a long explanation that will be studied in the A levels, but you guys don't need to bother about it. Here, see, here, let's assume there is nitrogen, right? So that nitrogen should be converted to ammonium ion. Okay, what is done to this nitrogen is, first of all, the nitrogen undergo to the ammonification, nitration, denitrification, and ultimately to the nitrogen fixation. So in the first method of nitrogen conversion, this nitrogen is converted to ammonium ion. Okay, so you should remember that. So first of all, we are going to study about the biological fixation. Under biological fixation, we have studied that Acinetobacter species is free living. Rhizobium is present inside the root nodules. Okay, so what they do, they will convert the nitrogen into ammonium ion. And second part, you should study about the atmospheric nitrogen. Okay, atmospheric nitrogen means the nitrogen that present in the atmospheric nitrogen means nitrogen present in the atmosphere, but how it is fixed in the atmosphere. Okay, so let's see. In the atmosphere we have nitrogen, right? In the atmosphere, what we have the nitrogen. Okay, so when lightning occurs, this nitrogen is bind with the oxygen to form nitric oxide. Okay, what it form? Nitric oxide and also nitrogen dioxide. Okay, nitric oxide and nitrogen dioxide. Wait. Nitric oxide and nitrogen dioxide. Okay, so here see, nitric oxide is produced, that is NO. Okay, not N2O, nitric oxide plus nitrogen dioxide, NO2 is produced. Okay, nitric oxide and nitrogen dioxide. So when lightning occurs, the atmospheric nitrogen is converted to nitric oxide as well as the nitrogen dioxide. So this happens during the lightning process. Okay, so first of all, biological fixation means the fixation that occurs by the bacteria. So those bacteria will convert the nitrogen to ammonium ion. Atmospheric fixations means the lightning will convert the nitrogen to nitric oxide and nitrogen dioxide. What is industrial fixation? Atmospheric nitrogen converts to nitrate during industrial production. N2 is converted to nitrate. Nitrate means NO3 minus, sorry, NO3 minus to the nitrate. So nitrogen is converted to nitrate in the industrial. Okay, so here see, atmospheric nitrogen convert to nitrate during industrial production of chemical fertilizers. So when you are producing chemical fertilizers, you are converting nitrogen to nitrate. Okay, nitrifying bacteria like nitrosomonas first convert ammonium compound into nitrite. Okay, so nitrifying bacteria, what it's doing, it is converting ammonium ion to nitrite. Nitrite means NO2 minus. Okay, and then nitrobacter, so this is done by nitrosomonas. Okay, nitrosomonas, and this nitrite is converted to nitrate by this nitrobacter bacteria. Okay, so ammonium ion converted to nitrite by nitrosomonas, and this nitrite converted to nitrate by this nitrobacter bacteria. Okay, these nitrates are absorbed by the plants used to synthesize protein. So you know the protein. What are the constituents of protein? Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen plus sulfur. So we need nitrogen to produce protein, so that nitrogen is provided by this nitrate. Okay, then due to microbial activity on dead bodies of organisms, the nitrogenous compounds converted to ammonium compounds known as ammonification and collect into soil. See, during the, if let's say there is a human, he died. Okay, inside the human there will be nitrogen compounds, and now microorganisms are coming and they are acting on this body, And ultimately what happens? Ultimately these nitrogen compounds are converted to ammonium compound. Okay, what is converted to ammonium compound, and ultimately that is collected inside the soil, and conversion of the nitrogen compounds to ammonium compound is known as ammonification. So in the exam paper they might ask what is mean by ammonification, then you should be able to write. Okay, the denitrifying means we are converting this nitrate to again for the nitrogen. Okay, we are converting nitrate again to the nitrogen, so that is denitrification, and that denitrification is done by the bacteria like pseudomonas and thiobacillus. Okay, so you should study about this nitrogen cycle. Hope you understood. You can draw this diagram and you can mark everything, and then you can um, do the question that is present in the past papers.